A WWE star is out of action for a year. Plus, multiple NXT title matches have been announced for Vengeance Day, and a TNA star's final match has been revealed. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. A rough start to 2024 and an abrupt end, it seems, to 2024 for Cor Jade. We talked earlier in the week about how she'd been injured during a match with Lyra Valkyria on the NXT Coconut Loop, on the house show loop. And we had an update on her status last night on NXT, didn't we, Jack?
Yes, last night on NXT, it was confirmed on commentary by Vic Joseph and Booker T that Cor Jade did indeed suffer an ACL tear during the house show event. As a result, apparently Cor Jade will be out of action for almost a full year.
Cora posted a photo on Twitter of a very heavy, braced up leg with the caption, "It's only after we've lost everything that we are free to do anything."
Do you get the reference there?
I didn't, but did you?
I think it's a quote from Fight Club.
We're told not to talk about that.
Well, she's broken the first and second rules, but it's tremendously unlucky for Cor Jade because she'd only recently just returned from injury.
Back like a month ago, she was putting her stuff back in the locker room, taking off Shirley Onion's locker room plate and putting her own stuff up there.
Colin Petrovic.
Shirley Onions. And so she's not long been back. So this is a real tough turn of events. And you got the vibe as well that there were big plans afoot for Cora this year as well.
Yeah, she was being positioned, if not in the title picture, then at least sometimes adjacent to it, flirting with the title picture. And she's always been one of the stronger characters in the NXT women's division. It's chock full of in-ring talent, but sometimes what the athletes that WWE these days sign need to refine is their character work. Whereas Cora has, since her heel turn, pretty much always had a very strong heel character. So it is a shame. It is a tremendous shame. She's still, I guess the saving grace here is that she's still very young.
Yeah.
Possibly easier to recover from, although it does sound like a very serious one. So hopefully she can recover fully and speedily as well.
It was last night on NXT that we saw a debut of an indie standout in Maddie Renkowski. She debuted in the Battle Royal, replacing Cora Jade under her new NXT name, Ren Sinclair.
Ren Sinclair, okay. She had previously been featured as part of the NWA and has also wrestled for many other promotions as well, like Ring of Honor, MCW, Mission Pro Wrestling, and WWN. But this was a bit of a curious bit because the commentators said that Ren Sinclair, aka Maddie Renkowski, was the one that Cora was in the ring with when she sustained this injury. Now, we believe this will be like one of two things: either a mistake from the commentary team and they just misspoke, or like a deliberate retconning to try and maybe give her an established motive or an established character early on.
It feels that the way that they spoke about it, the fact that they said that not only was it Ren Sinclair that was in the match with Cora Jade, but said that she beat Cora Jade, causing the injury, and therefore took her place in this match. So it feels a very deliberate retconning.
Yeah.
To give Ren Sinclair maybe something to hang her hat on going forward. It's a funny one to do in this day and age where so much information is out there.
Right.
That all you have to do is look up the results on our friends at cagematch.net.
Yes.
And you'll see that it wasn't Ren in there at all.
I was going to say as well, yeah, it seemed like a throwback to the days of Backlund didn't lose to Inoki in Japan. That never happened. Or like, yes, of course, Pat Patterson won a fictional tournament in Rio de Janeiro. It really existed. Don't check that.
The Rockers have never been tag team champions.
Yeah. Whereas, as you say, today information is so universal. You can just find out pretty much about almost any match that takes place above a certain level in the entire world of wrestling at the click of a button. So it is a strange one, but again, it's the wrestling business. I don't see it as too big it's not a cardinal sin or anything. Yeah.
I mean, we've got people rising out of graves and setting things on fire in wrestling. It's not the worst scenario to, I think you'll find that wasn't the match. And if you haven't got the time or the energy to look up these sort of things, don't worry, because dickheads like us have.
Yes, we do. Have you done your isn't there a Desert Island Graps episode coming out with one of the cagematch.net people?
Well, it's not Desert Island Graps, but it's a lovely chat with the guy with Flush, who is the fifth longest tenured member of cagematch.net.
Right.
And I was just intrigued to find out how that website is put together, the team behind it, and it's, if you ever wondered how this incredible wrestling database comes to be and is updated and maintained, listen to my chat with Flush. It's on the the podcast feed for you right now, and possibly a database that led to somebody losing their shoot job.
Oh, really? Oh,
possibly.
Fair enough.
You have to listen to the interview to find out about that one. Let's go back to that beefy battle royal, which is now on Cage Match, by the way. Roxanne Perez became number one contender. She won the whole darn thing, and she's going to face Lyra Valkyria at Vengeance Day.
Yes, she will. I always make a mistake with these sort of stipulations because it was I believe a 20-woman battle royal, but then the final 4 then took part in a fatal 4-way match to decide the number one contender, which, as you say, Roxanne Perez won. Now, I always think, and I don't know if this is just because I've been recently conditioned by the Dynamite Diamond Ring battle royals, I always think that the final bit will just take place later, next week or whatever. So it gets to the final 4 and I'm thinking, well done, everyone. Hit the showers. Like, you've got a week to recover. And then they just carried on. I was like, oh yes, of course. We're finding out tonight, and it is Roxanne Perez. She set up a clash with Lyra Valkyria at Vengeance Day.
Not the only match for a title at Vengeance Day. Elia Dragonov returned last night, and he said to Trick Williams, "Oi, Trick, that match that you won for the title, you're having it at Vengeance Day."
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes, not a happy camper about that.
But Trick Williams also not a happy camper about that because, well, you'd assume anyway, but he's a brave fighting babyface boy. But the reason behind this is because obviously Carmelo Hayes signed up himself and Trick Williams for the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Tournament without asking Trick. Part of Hayes' it feels like it's been going on for months now, part of his being a bad friend angle before we finally learned that presumably he was the one who attacked Trick Williams. I'm starting to rename him on the podcast Tricked Williams because he falls for it every week. But Trick said, look, Mello, I'm trying to concentrate on my run at the title against Ilya Dragunov. And Mello went, don't worry, man, you'll be able to handle it. Now we find out that Trick may have to, if they get far enough in the tournament, he may have to wrestle twice in one night at Vengeance Day. And because this is wrestling and that's been flagged up, lampshaded, it probably almost certainly will happen.
It will definitely happen.
Yeah.
And then Trick will either somehow they'll lose the Dusty Tag final and Carmelo will blame Trick for not having his eye on the ball, or there'll be some shenanigans there.
I can see a WrestleMania 10. Trick loses the less important of the two matches early on, but then maybe wins the NXT Championship later on. I don't know.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So you may have seen this on Twitter. You saw Joey Janela kicking off at YouTube guy Ricky Burwick, which Burwick was more than happy to bite back with. So I said to Ricky, come on, Cultaholic, and have a chat about it all. And we had a wild interview
very good.
that you can listen to right now on the podcast feed. Myself and YouTube sensation Ricky Burwick talking about his challenge to Joey Janela for Demand Lucha tomorrow night in Toronto.
Oh, wow, it's that soon.
I think Burwick's going to beat him up.
I've not listened to this interview yet, and I'm genuinely terrified.
It's terrifying.
Okay.
You can watch the interview as well, because during the interview, Ricky is shining up the, as he says, the titles that he won in a previous life. You can see the interview, as we've seen as well, on patreon.com/Cultaholic. Cheers to Ricky Burwick for joining us with Cultaholic. Now, saying hello to Ricky Burwick, we say goodbye to Trinity in TNA by the looks of it.
Absolutely. Former Knockouts champion, because she lost her title to Jordan Grace. Yes, it was Jordan Grace.
It was Jordan Grace.
Ahead of her reported WWE return, Trinity is going to have one more match for TNA, going one-on-one with Giselle Shaw this Friday at the TNA tapings in Orlando, Florida. This wasn't what people thought was initially the plan for Trinity.
No, because it very much felt like a farewell for at the Las Vegas tapings. It was like a goodbye, and then it was Giselle and her entourage attacking Jordan Grace and Trinity. Yeah. And then it was announced in Orlando on Saturday, as we say, Giselle Shaw versus Trinity. Now, the way that TNA is taped, so they did they'll do like a blocks of tapings. We could be in this fantastic realm of possibility that as Naomi returns to WWE in the Royal Rumble,
as we shoot, yeah.
In the timeline, it might pan out that she does the Rumble and then goes back to TNA to have one more match.
Possibly.
That'd be interesting.
That won't have been something that, I guess, if she goes to WWE, both WWE and TNA will be ignorant to. I'm sure they'll have thought about this.
That would have been considered, because otherwise you would have had Trinity sign off on the last show.
Yeah.
And this is all based on the fact that if she's coming back as part of the Rumble, she might not come back as part of the Rumble.
It would make sense for her to be back.
It'd be lovely for her to be back as part of the Rumble.
Yeah.
That is, unless I've got my timey-wimey stuff wrong, in the sense that she has alternatively, Trinity has her last match against Giselle Shaw on the Thursday on Impact, and then on the Saturday is at the Rumble.
I mean, the Rumble's only about a week and a half away as we speak right now.
Yeah.
So it's getting pretty close. I think you might be right. We'll have to see how it pans out. I think they could either play it safe, and both companies could agree to not air anything Trinity related on TNA after the Royal Rumble, or they could do something really interesting, like she's gone back for revenge for one last shot. Or something
I think
like
that would be amazing.
It would, wouldn't it?
I'd love
Yeah, it would be
that.
very good.
That'd be a great thing. Are you twitching tonight?
I am twitching tonight myself.
That is a great thing.
And Owen Morrison will be taking charge of the Football Manager game once again. We are
Football Manager.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a head spinner. Isn't it?
Oh no!
You have to manage a Football Manager game.
Spreadsheets on spreadsheets. We're still in charge of South Shields FC, but we're always looking afar. This is not a save where we stick at one team. We're just doing our best and hopping around wherever we can. But we're still at our first team currently, and we're doing all right. Briggsy's banging the goals in. Briggsy. That's literally all we know about his character. We just shout Briggsy when he scores. Briggsy.
He just bangs in goals.
Oh yeah. And can't remember his first name. Love him. But yeah, we're twitching from 6 p.m. UK time at twitch.tv/Cultaholic.
Join them for a lark at Mariners Park. And for the latest wrestling news, pow, throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.